Sis.
I'm pretty sure he meant biscuits.
When we're back again, it's another episode of Business and Gravy. It's our 21st episode, and I almost can't believe it. Been through a whole lot this year. Something like the time's come and gone like so quickly. This was just a thought, and now we're 21 weeks into this show, and it won't stop anytime soon, God willing. Now, of course, you know me, I am Chase Davis. Lynn Roberts is missing in action today. Not sure where Lynn is. I'm kidding. I do know where Lynn is. Lynn is currently waiting on his son to come back from a football camp. And I'm not sure when he's going to be back, when he's going to arrive. So I'm taking over the reins. I did this once before. And I did an episode by myself, and luckily I don't have to do it today. I do have a special guest with me today. Very special to me, but I will not tell you who she is just yet. First of all, I'm going to give a recap of my weekend, which was awesome. I got the opportunity and the luxury of going to see a good friend of mine, one of my line brothers, my fraternity brothers, man of Omega Psi Phi, getting married this weekend, and it was a beautiful occasion. It was an opportunity to truly see Christ's love between two people. There was a moment in the ceremony where, and I guess you know they have their own love story, and you kind of watching along. But as we watch, everyone's kind of creating a story as they watch the ceremony. You're creating your own story for the couple that's getting married and being wed. But there was a moment that I could see that they both had this almost like the emotional outcry that they knew that they had reached their forever, however long forever is going to be for them. They had reached it. They hit it. And they knew it. Made eye contact, and they were like, this is it. So it was awesome. It was great. We had some unexpected guests come, and we had a whole lot of fun. It was a full weekend, barbecues, pool parties, pizzas, all kind of stuff. It was almost like being an undergrad again. A lot more sophisticated though. Some real dope and deep conversations that went on. Things that I learned, people I hadn't saw in a while, people I reconnected with, and I'm grateful and thankful for that. I truly did get to see Christ's love work like right in front of my face for this couple, and I couldn't be more happy. I wish we could do it all over again next weekend. Nonetheless, like I said, I do have a special guest with me. She's very near and dear to my heart. It's the first time I've got an opportunity to do this. I had the idea a while ago. I guess the situation just hadn't come up for me to do it, but now this one is perfect. Okay? First off, young lady, what is your name?
Jada.
Jada what?
Davis.
Who are you?
I'm your daughter.
So I'm your father? Are you sure?
Yes.
Get closer to the microphone.
Yes.
How old are you?
11.
What's your birthday? I'm kidding. That was funny because you knew not to give that out. You're not going to give it out to the world? What's your social security number?
I don't have one, I don't think.
You do have a social security number. You just don't know it. It's not important to you right now. Is something big happening in your life soon?
I'm going to middle school.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Are you afraid?
Kind of.
Why?
Because I'm going to meet new people that I don't really know. There's only 2 people that I know.
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Kind of.
Okay. Since Jada's going to help me out with this episode, we're going to play 21 questions with Jada Davis after the 21st episode of Business and Gravy. We may not get to 21 questions. I doubt we will, but nonetheless, that's what we're going to call this. We'll do it, we'll start it, and then we'll pick up later on, and we'll finish off our 21 questions, all right? Okay. First question. How would the world be different if animals could talk?
It would be different because if animals could talk, we'd get to know their actual feelings And I have a feeling we'll all be eating plants and fruits right now because they'll get upset if we try to eat them.
That's pretty dope. Like a therapist. Oh, before we go on to the next question, what do you want to be when you grow up?
A dentist?
What kind of dentist?
I honestly don't know.
You haven't decided yet?
No.
What college do you want to go to?
Probably one of the best colleges for dentists, I guess.
That was the wrong answer. There's only one answer to that question. What college do you want to go to?
I don't know.
Are you kidding me? We're about to end this episode right now. If you don't get... Never mind. I quit. I'm joking. So you don't want to go to Florida State? Seriously?
Maybe.
Maybe? Oh my gosh. I'm going to disown this child. Okay, next question. What is the hardest thing about being a kid?
The hardest thing about being a kid is there's a lot of rules you have to follow, and you still have to go through school. But it's actually pretty fun to be a kid because you don't have to have a job. You don't have that many responsibilities, at least for right now, too.
Yeah. So for you, what's the funnest thing that you do on a daily basis?
Probably going outside, going places.
Yeah.
Or watching TV, or playing Fortnite, too.
I knew you were going to say Fortnite. I knew it. This is the first time you've ever asked me for V-Bucks. What's today? Do you know what a V-Buck was? My answer was no. Actually, it wasn't no. It was like later. Okay. Are we on to the next question?
Yes.
Where is your favorite place in the world?
My favorite place in the world would probably have to be Orlando, maybe, because they have a lot of theme parks, a lot of tourist attractions. I think it's one of the most visited places in Florida, and it's pretty fun.
So where else do you want to go? Where do you want to travel to?
Probably Hawaii. Seems cool.
Hawaii?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I want to go to Egypt.
Egypt?
I heard it's a big deal to go to Africa, though. Like, you gotta get a bunch of vaccinations and all kinds of stuff. I never really looked into it yet because it's a very expensive trip. I think it's just more expensive for it to travel. It really doesn't cost too much when you're actually there. But the plane ticket will cost a lot. You want to go to Egypt next year?
Sure.
I'm down. Let's do it. Okay. Our next question. What do you think would be the hardest thing about being blind?
The hardest thing about being blind would probably be all the stuff you can't get to see. You probably wouldn't get to see how your family members look. You probably wouldn't get to see places like Disney and other places such as theme parks.
What about taking care of yourself? Blind people can do it, but I'm sure it's hard.
It would be hard to learn, but if you're blind since you're born, then it's just learned behavior that you'll kind of know.
Kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
It's probably the experiences, right? Experiences would just be a whole lot different. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know anybody that's blind?
No, never know.
No? Never met anybody that's blind? I don't know anybody that's blind either, I don't believe.
Me either.
All right. Next question. If you could grow up to be famous, what would you want to be famous for?
I probably want to be famous for acting because it seems pretty cool, and many actors inspire a lot of people.
You want to inspire people? That's dope. You got a big brain on your head. I tell you that all the time, though. You're going to do great things. All right. Next question. If you could travel back in time 3 years and visit your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
So if I traveled back 3 years ago, I'd be 8. So the advice I give myself is there's nothing to be afraid of.
Really?
Yes.
What were you afraid of when you were 8?
I would be afraid of a lot of things, such as scary movies, like Chucky and things like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to go to sleep by myself.
I have to give a little disclaimer about you. You're my firstborn, my baby, and you've grown out of it now, but you were very, very cautious. You had to be the most cautious child I had ever met in my life. You did not want to get in trouble. You did not want to get hurt. You didn't want to have nothing to do with that stuff. Like, I mean, even on playgrounds, like, I'm not trying to mess up none of this stuff. I don't want to mess up my shoes or injure myself, none of that. And you have grown out of it. You've grown and you branched out. And you do a lot of courageous things now, even with other people. And I think that's really dope. And I'm glad I've gotten to watch it. You know what I mean? Over time. And you are right. Like from you being 8 to now, it's been an enormous difference in just those 3 years. So I think about like what will the next 3 years entail? It'll be like a complete transformation. Like you're gonna be so much more sophisticated and so different from like 11 to then. Like it's gonna be crazy. So our next question: if you could be invisible for a day, what would you do?
If I could be invisible for a day, I'd probably scare Carter because it seems kind
Who
of
is
fun.
Carter? Who's that
He's
guy?
my little brother that's always busting me in the head.
Who's his dad?
Chase Davis,
Oh.
which is also my father.
So you would scare Carter?
Yes.
That's terrible.
No, it's not.
Did Carter bust you in the head today?
Yes, he did plenty of times.
Why did I miss that? I feel like I don't see it all. I miss it all the time. I spend my time busting him in the head. Okay, let's do another question. When was a time that you felt lucky?
A time that I felt lucky was probably when I found out I was getting into a gifted class.
Really?
Yes.
That was a pretty lucky time. Yeah, you got actually a recommendation from a teacher that you should have been you should have been in the gifted program, and she like kind of pushed the needle for that and got you in. And she was telling me like, yeah, she does not belong in this in like a normal regular class, or whatever you want to call it. So I thought that was pretty dope. Okay, this is a good one. I like this one. What 5 words do you think most describe you?
Smart, intelligent,
All that.
funny, courageous, and confident.
Dope. That's like the meaning of dope. Okay, let's go to the next question. Oh, another question about your career interest. What made you decide you wanted to be a dentist? When did you get interested in that? How'd that happen?
Well, when I was younger, I used to love going to the dentist. I'd hear about my friends saying that they hated going there. I don't know why, but to me it seemed really cool. The many of the dentists that I have, they're really like nice. They talk to me a lot, and they interact with kids, which seems pretty cool.
So you like Novocaine? Getting your mouth numb and stuff like that?
No, that actually is painful.
You don't like that part? Okay. What is something that makes your family special?
Something that makes my family special is probably the bond we have, and how like we can have fun and stuff like that.
Right. I always thought it was kind of cool that you guys had like two, between like my family, like my side of family and your mom's family. It was like two like complete opposites. Like my family is a lot smaller, right? It's a lot more intimate here, but I got a lot of cool stuff in my house. But then you guys have your mom's family where it's like so many people, so many people, so many cousins, so many events, so many birthdays. Like I remember it was a point in time where you and Carter were literally going to a birthday party like every weekend. Like somebody's birthday was every weekend. And I thought that was kind of cool. So you kind of got to do whatever you wanted. If you want to get away from that and want to come chill and like have like your own space, your own time, you can come here. If you want to go to a party, you know where to find a party. It's somebody's party all the time. Give me another one. Are you a good friend? And why do you think so?
I think I'm a good friend because usually when it comes to friends, I'm really nice. I'm usually acting like myself. I am, what's that word? I forgot the word.
Personable, selfless,
No.
compassionate.
Yeah, I am compassionate though, but that's not the word. I am very kind of helpful, but what's that word?
Encouraging.
Yes, encouraging, that's the word.
I got it. I got your back. Also, you're a very good writer as well. People need to know that too. You're interested in dentistry and stuff, but you're a very good writer. You even talk like a writer. Like I'm listening to you answer questions, and you're answering the question in like full, complete, like like paragraph thoughts. Like, um, let's see. Would you cheat on a test if you knew you would not get caught? Why or why not?
I wouldn't cheat on the test because I'd want to show my own work and see how talented I am in whatever subject it is.
I dig that. I don't believe you would cheat on the test either, because like that's the part that I talked about earlier. Like, you don't want to get in trouble. You don't like, even if, yeah, you don't want to deal with that. And also, it's part of having integrity. Integrity means that you will do the right thing even when no one knows or even when no one's looking. You'll do it anyway. Also, you're brilliant, so you don't really have to cheat. You probably already know the answers anyway.
And if I do end up failing, I learn from my mistakes.
That's dope. Who taught you that?
You did.
Let me cry on the show. If you were a teacher and the kids in your class would not listen to you, what would you do?
That'd probably be frustrating, but what I'd do is I'd probably kind of be friendly with the kids for a little bit. But when it comes to times like I had to be a little like, what's that word? Where,
Describe it.
say if like a kid's not behaving, but like you're trying to be their friend, but not being their friend at the same time. Like there's a time where you have to be.
Oh, you mean like being be a disciplinarian?
Yes, that.
Gotcha. Well, sometimes being an adult, you have to, and some adults don't do this well, but there are times where you can't be a friend.
That's what
There's
I'm
certain
talking
times
about.
where like I am your friend, and sometimes I'm your like, but I'm always your dad. Like that trumps friendliness to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what you consider me. I have like a job to do. You know what I mean? I have like a purpose that I'm serving in your life, and that's greater than just being friendly or being happy all the time or whatever. Some things that have to be taught. Some things have to be done. Some things have to be disciplined. Some things have to be structured. And part of those things are some of the stuff you're saying on the show. Some of the stuff you've already said, the stuff that you've learned over time by just living up underneath the wing of like me and your mom and your aunts and then your grandma and so on and so forth. If you could make one rule that everyone in the world had to follow, what rule would you make?
One rule that I'd make is equality because there's a lot of things happening in the world and people aren't being equal to each other still, even though the Jim Crow laws have like passed a long time ago, way before I was born.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. I think
And
I
also
do
like
equal.
not bullying too.
I like that equal opportunities. If everyone, I'd like that, and not bullying.
Hmm.
Cause we had a situation where we learned a lot about bullying. Bullying is not cool. Bullying can be very very catastrophic. Bullying is almost like an epidemic. There's so many people being bullied, but they won't. Especially like in middle school and younger, or maybe even more. I think some adults end up getting bullied. Um, I don't really understand it being an adult. Like if you're a grown person, I think you should have enough of a sense of self to be able to address an issue without letting it go that far. But that's just what I think. It does not mean I'm right. It actually means I'm actually probably wrong. Some of that behavior is probably learned behavior that's been taken from childhood into adulthood. But anyway, back to children. Children are mean. You guys are mean. Like pretty mean to each other. Like I've watched, and seen some instances where children utilize other children their faults and or the things they can't control, like what they look like, their family, their heritage, their culture, and take it and use it so that they can make themselves feel better about themselves, but just doing it in front of everyone else. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take the spotlight. It's imaginary. It's not even real. The spotlight I feel that's on my flaw and direct it towards someone else's flaw. Even if it's not a flaw, I'm just trying to make it seem like a flaw, and I want everybody to pay attention to that. And it happens all the time. But then the person that's happening to doesn't want to seem weak, so they pretend like it's not making an impact on them, like it's not hurting them emotionally. like they can overcome and they can deal with it. They don't want to go and tell the people they should tell, like their parents or administrators or teachers, stuff like that, because they don't want to be known as weak. They, even if the situation got mitigated and the problem was resolved and they didn't have to deal with that anymore, they still have to deal with that emotional scar and that the shadow of that experience, that traumatic experience, that trauma. So bullying is a big deal. We probably need to do a full out show on bullying, and so we can discuss some of the things that we learned while we were in elementary school about it. But anyway, we've grown from that and we learned from that, and some mistakes that we make, we won't make them again, and that's perfect. That's what it was for. Let's see. What other question do we have? Do we answer all these questions? Oh, wait. What is the best gift you have ever given? Why was it so special?
I think the best gift I've ever given wasn't really like a gift. It was something like, I think it was probably the gift of love, probably.
Gift of love? That's dope. That is a great gift to give. And it's free. And we've learned that the best things in life are free. It's not about money. It's not about monetary value. Wealth is built in people. It lies in people. It exists in the ones you share things with. Share experiences with, time, patience, love. Sometimes even your life. If you could give one gift to every single child in the world, what gift would you give?
The gift I would give is hope and confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah.
So, why'd you say hope?
Hope because not every kid like has hope and like believes in stuff and believes in themselves. And some kids have insecurities though.
Okay. I like that. All right, this is going to be our last question. We're running up on 20 minutes. Normally our podcast go a lot longer than this, but I say this one's going to be shorter. So I won't hold you up. I know you got Fortnite to play. This is a little bit of a hard question. I thought about it. I was like, I don't even know. If you could invent something that would make life easier for people, what would you invent? Because if I could come up with that, I would just invent it. And then this whole working all the time stuff would just be over with.
It'd probably be a robot to do everything for you.
A robot?
Yeah.
There's some people probably working on that. But that's dope. I'm happy and I'm blessed to have gotten to experience this. I mean, I think about like time, like because we literally did in a lot of different ways, but we grew up together. You know what I mean? You were a child, and when you were born, I was a child, right? And then I'm sitting now, like 11 years since you were born, almost 12, and putting a microphone in front of us and like having a podcast with my daughter is like one of the most dopest experiences I've ever had. This is the first time you've been on the show, and it will not be the last. You may be back on here next week. If I ever can't find Lynn again, I'm calling you. Whatever show we're doing, we're just going to do it. You're going to be on the show. I admire your courage. You spoke up. You weren't afraid. We've had adults like get on the show to be guests and be completely afraid of just talking into the microphone. It's not like it's the people who are listening to the show are like here in the living room with us. But nonetheless, I'm happy we did it. It's been another episode of Biscuits and Gravy. And once again, we'll be back next week. We do have another topic for you guys next week that's going to be very important to us. We'll probably put out some information out during this week. The show topics and the special guests that we have wanted to get on the show have kind of been delayed because this year has been very hectic. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things that have happened, a lot of things with NBSI, which is the ministry, the institution, the inception of that, and it's everything. It's bylaws, and I help with that, and linking everything kind of underway. Space to have his ministry and his church and everything. That all happened this year. I've taken my first promotional exam, and I'm not done with it yet. The second part of my exam is on July 25th, and once that's done, it's going to be one of the best days ever because I just can't wait to be done with it and have it finished because I spent most of this year studying information to get prepared for this exam, and I'm tired of it. I'm trying to get back to normal. I'm trying to get back to normal where I'm not reading these books and whatever all the time. But once that is over, we will revisit the guests that we want to have on the show and some of the topics that we want to share. Like one, like my boy Tyler Palmer. Talk to him. I want him to get on the show because he has an amazing story, like a very inspirational story. One of my frat brothers, a good friend of mine, talking about his entrepreneurial avenues and his ventures in beauty and healthcare for women and the amount of money that's spent on it and some of the craziest things he's seen. That's going to be Sly Kid. We talked about that before. We're going to get back up with him. Give another shout out to my line brother Adrian and his wife Heather. I'm happy for you guys. I hope you guys hear the podcast. I'm here for you if you need anything from me. I messed enough stuff up, enough stuff up in my life or whatever to know right from wrong. So if any kind of guidance I can give or help, whatever assistance, like let me know. I'm on a phone call away, text message, do something, whatever. Write me on the podcast. I don't know, do whatever you want. Thank y'all for listening. Next week, say bye, Jada.
Bye.